everyone. For this review, we have the NECA Universal Monsters. Guess we'll call this retro figure pack. These figures were introduced in a Loot Crate subscription that lasted, I think, from 2022 to 2023, with one addition in that it comes with a coffin. And going back to the original release, these figures are painted and done up to be an homage to a Burger King release from back in the day of, like these really small figures. So that's what this whole thing is. Um, the box is pretty big. I'm going to show this off real quick all together. But as you see, it's a huge box. Trying to get this all on camera is just uh, almost impossible without having some kind of weird setup, which I'm very surprised about because I imagine getting, like a retail box, full of figures. Maybe something like, I don't know, like any other, NECA offering. I was really surprised to get this thing because it's in a similar the box is in similar shape and dimension to like their 18-inch figures. So imagine ordering this and this huge gigantic thing showing up. It's a lot of extra space, but it's all presentation. Like they kind of went out of their way to give you this thing that feels special. I do like how it's got the figures laid out. It's got the proper title fonts for all the characters. It's just a crazy, crazy offering. It's yeah, yeah, NECA Crypt Club. I think that's what the Loot Crate was called at the time. Okay, so let's go ahead and start getting these out because going over this box is just too much. So surprisingly, they made this thing very collectible. I think their box designs are always collectible, but rarely do they make something that is like almost easy to repackage. And this design definitely lends to that. I do my best to not collect boxes, especially if you have a lot of figures, you're gonna have a whole bunch of boxes. But you could easily untie these figures and take them out, display them, and repackage them, and resell it later. They're very like collector friendly. NECA doesn't always do that. A lot of times, I would say most of the time, their products have the twist ties. I mean, the not the plastic tie downs that you're gonna have to cut or rip. They're way too tight to like meticulously remove. So I'm kind of surprised they did this. Kudos on them for that. Okay, so here they are out of the box. They don't really come with accessories except for, if you want to consider the coffin an accessory. And the Wolfman, he should have a little stand for his foot. Technically, he's supposed to kind of always be on his uh the ball of his foot, like a dog, so to speak, wolf, whatever. But outside of that, the whole thing with these are the deco. The ones that stand out the most are going to be Frankenstein and the creature, in that they have translucent plastic, and it's it's kind of a cool effect to have the extremities translucent, but the rest of the body is painted. And again, these are an homage to these figures from back in the 60s or 70s. Can't remember what time frame, but these were even before my time. And I grew up with Star Wars, like the original Star Wars. But yeah, he's pretty cool looking. They even went to the extra effort of painting the little bolts on his neck, and that kind of helps make him stand out. The Wolfman basic thing is he's got these simple colors, and even though he is simple, um, the sculpting is just really great on this guy, and he still has a presence, like this. Even though he's meant to be simple, he's it's kind of got this artistic flair to it. Again, mostly because of the design and the actual sculpt of this product. All right, then we've got the creature, and he's pretty menacing looking. Again, very simple. His eyes are painted, and these plates, these real small plates in the front, are painted. And I think there's a bit of a wash because the legs are darker. I don't know if it's just the plastic is denser or if they actually did a like some type of overspray. Maybe even the face too, because like this area seems to be darker than the surrounding areas. It's hard to tell or hard to know unless the designers really come out and say something. But yeah, this looks really cool also. And then we've got Dracula. He's got I'm gonna say a generic face. The face sculpt is meant to emulate the toy from back in the day. And then he's got this Kenner superpowers style cape. Basically this little clip that attaches to the back. But I'll say the simplified colors do really pop, like the red around his lips, the red around his neck. Still has his little medallion painted. It just looks really good. And I'm pretty sure the figure is painted. It's got like this matte black, so that helps contrast the kind of glossy paint they used on the hair. So that's really cool. Okay, and last we have the coffin. So there is, I think this is tampoed. I was trying to figure out if this is supposed to be a sticker or not, and it's kind of hard to tell. But all this other part is raised, and this is the same object from the Dracula accessory set. So if you're familiar with that, it looks the same. There is like simulated wood grain. So it's got a lot of cool texture. It's got these handles on the side, and then on the inside, um, kind of plain, but this is supposed to be like a wooden coffin. And so you'll see a lot of the photography for this, where he's kind of like sitting and kind of waking up, rising up, whatever you want to call it. to kind of see this whole thing. Doesn't want to really sit, but you get the idea. There we go. This does kind of get in the way, but it's rubbery, so you can make it work. It just takes a little bit of extra finessing, but you get the idea. So you can display them like that if you want to. Um, you might want to. Oh, his neck came out. Or you might want to have him displayed standing up. Although this design really does not lend to doing that. So it may take some work, but you could do something like that. So it's a cool set, fun set. Definitely if you want definitive versions, these are not it. Well, maybe they might be. If you don't like the realistic look and you want something, something that borderlines cartoony, these are actually pretty cool, pretty fun. Okay, so there have been these glow in a dark figures, and they have a similar like look motif in that they're meant to be simple, and they're also meant to be homage figures, like vintage figures. So kind of think if you are collecting those, you might want to get this. And you see with these guys, even though like both are meant to be simple, they have completely different colors, and they just end up being just different. They're just different. um, Especially with him having the little black paint on his nose, and this guy not. And this guy's got a lot of blood on his mouth, like he just bit somebody. Now the creature is a bit more stark as far as differences. For the glow in the dark, he's basically, solid, and he's, got the whole glow in the dark effect thing going on. I can get him to stand. So pretty stark difference between those two. There we go. You'd think a figure with big feet wouldn't fall. But then the Dracula counterpart is quite a bit different. So Dracula's got this version's kind of got this whole, Star Wars, vinyl cape thing going on, and it has this guy's still trying to fall. Gonna remove him. He's trying to get away. Uh, the glow in the dark had the original actor head still on it. So it might have been cool if this came with the generic head, but maybe they hadn't thought that far ahead yet. I don't know, but I think if I had to pick, he seems like he wants to fall. If I had to pick between these guys, I think I definitely want the Crypt Club version. I think they would be just kind of more desired. But the glow in the dark figures are also very cool. Like especially seeing them glow in the dark, having them out on the shelf and walking by at night and seeing them, it's pretty cool. So that is the review. Definitely like this set. I would recommend it. It ends up coming out cheaper than what the loot crate would have been. But then again, with the loot crate, you would have gotten, t-shirts and all kinds of little cool stuff with it. But, if you don't need those things, this is your opportunity to pick it up again. So that's the review. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, tune into more videos coming up. Thank you.